Welcome to ES Wednesday Stories. Week 2. We didn't think we would make it, but hey, here we are with actually 10 really interesting topics for this week. We'll run through them together, and you can all find the articles linked below if you want to read them in full. We're just doing a little bit of a recap on them, just like we did last week. So here we go. Will there be a 21 ski season at all? That's the headline Hello Magazine uses to talk about everything you need to know about the upcoming season. Upcoming season, according to Hello Magazine, is looking positive with some major differences compared to normal. With major differences, they mean reduced capacity. People need to book as early as possible, and because in Europe, for instance, like France, Austria and Switzerland, the ski lifts are considered public transportation, you will be forced to wear masks. This is not a bad thing, but take that in mind. Also, Hello Magazine advises everybody to stay away from the popular dates to book, like Christmas or the early spring vacations that Europe has. Just make sure to avoid those, and you'll probably have a really nice 2021 winter sports. While we are in the snow, let's go to something big. Burton, in their own blog, commits to some serious social goals. In a strongly worded post, Burton says it's time to put up or shut up. They feel they have fallen short on very important social issues like racism and inclusion of the LGBT community in snowboarding. They also recognize these are not the only marginalized groups, but they are looking to rectify that internally and externally in the broader snowboarding community. Burton stating it is time for snowboarding to grow the F up. Burton also says this will be their first statements of many when it comes to initiatives within the company itself. Staying in the realm of frigid sports, in example of Burton's stepons, K2 has been hard at work launching their Clicker XHB series, the next generation step-on step-in bindings. It's an evolution of their older quicker Clicker series, but now it has the high back just like the Burton step-ons. They claim it had, with the new boot design and the high back, to have more control and comfort down the slopes. Now, for all of those wondering, Nitro also uses the Clicker system. We haven't heard any news from that, but they're bound to come up with something. In less snow-related news, but still, snowboarding legend Jeremy Jones has a new movie out, Purple Mountains. This time is not for one of the greatest snowboarding edits in the genre. This time it's his story to protect the mountains and the winter he loves. He sets on a journey of the physical and philosophical to unite the divide in society that stems from climate change. He learns the hopes and fears of the people while walking a mile in their shoes, on the mountain and in the snow. The movie is brought to you by Protect Our Winters and is shot by the very acclaimed Teton Gravity Research, which is also responsible for his other films, Deeper, Further and Higher. So you're insured for absolutely amazing, stunning visuals and backdrops. While we're still in the snow and a little bit in the realm of action sports, who would have missed the news that GoPro launched their new hero9? So when we're talking about stunning backdrops, you can get them yourself. GoPro released their new hero9, action camera to their lineup. It's a little larger. It now has a front-facing screen. It has the new 23.4 megapixel sensor, which outputs in 5K for if you really need 5K. It has the new Hypersmooth 3.0 and a new horizon leveling system that really makes for smooth images. It also now features a swappable lens, which was missing from the Hero 8, and it has the new Hero lens attachment for extreme ultra-wide shots. It also has a larger battery from now on, which according to them gives you about 30% longer battery life. So we'll have to see if we'll get one of our own and see if we can test it the way it's intended. So let's see if we'll do that. While we're at it, we're still back in the snow, but now a little bit more older news. The Guardian, let's see, The Guardian reports in an interesting podcast that the mountains, wow, this really doesn't, well, okay, let me say it like this. The Guardian has a podcast up talking about Ischl, which was basically the epicenter of the COVID pandemic in Austria, and for a large part in how it spread to Europe during the winter. The podcast discusses how it went down and how people were right there that week when everything went basically downhill for a lot of people, and they had a week to get their affairs sorted and move out of Ischl because it was going to go in lockdown, or almost the entirety of Austria was going to a lockdown. It's a very interesting podcast, and if you fancy listening to it, the link is down below. Staying on the COVID-19 topic, the virus has drastically changed the world around us and how we conduct ourselves in that world. But it also seems to have had an interesting effect on how we use certain technologies. So Travel Daily News reports that contactless technologies are gaining traction in the travel and leisure industry and tourism industry, depending on which part of the industry you're looking at, because leisure does contain tourism and the other way around. This involves, for instance, biometric boarding. Beijing Capital International Airport has partnered with CETA, a Swiss tech company, to provide biometric check-in journey, which means you do biometric baggage through all the way through security, all the way through on the plane, so to minimize human contact. In Abu Dhabi International Airport, they're looking into contactless elevators that work with gestures, and a hotel chain uses an app for people to check in and check out. So COVID-19 also has some positive influences on how we use technology. Lonely Planet also has a very interesting report while we're talking about traveling. Lonely Planet reports that Air Canada is going to provide unlimited flight passes. You heard it correctly, unlimited flight passes. However, it comes with a couple of caveats. It's only for domestic flights within Canada, so no international flights, but there are no hidden fees. You can fly unlimited for up to 3 months in a single go, so unlimited flights in a 3-month period. You can book a flight up to an hour before departure, but they're only for sale for a limited time. They end at the end of this month, actually, so there's only 8 days left if you're interested, or 9, 8, I think it's 8, it's 30, isn't it? Yeah, it's 30. But they are up for sale for a cool $2,000. So if you got $2,000 to spare and you live in Canada and want unlimited flights, go to Air Canada, I guess. Wow. In other more positive COVID-19 news, I guess, or talking about unlimited flights you're not being able to use overseas, Hong Kong has shown another positive side effect for COVID-19, albeit it might be for a short time. The rare Indo-Pacific humpback dolphins are making a comeback in the waters surrounding Hong Kong. The otherwise called pink dolphin has been benefiting from the massive travel restrictions in Hong Kong because the waters are way less congested. Scientists are estimating up to a 30% increase in the species back in Hong Kong waters. So take it with a little bit of good news again from the pandemic. On another destination you cannot go with the unlimited flight from Air Canada, Mauritius is opening its borders again, since they were closed because of the pandemic. With its white beaches and crystal blue water, it's the ideal place to unwind and relax in this pandemic world. However, strict guidelines are still in place to ensure that there isn't another massive outbreak on Mauritius. And then we're going stateside, from a paradise island back to the US, to Reno no less, for our last little tidbit of the day. The Whitney Peak Hotel boasts the tallest outdoor artificial climbing wall in the US. The wall was built to help foster and provide a new face for Reno's outdoor enthusiast community, according to Brian Sweeney, brand base camp manager. The 50-meter tall wall stretches up to the east side of the hotel. The youngest person who has reached the top was 4. The oldest was 94 years old. Leisure and Travel reports. This was an article by Leisure and Travel. Well, guys, that was it for today. Links are all down below, and we'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Feel free to click and subscribe if you like this kind of content. We'll definitely be going on with it. I'm actually really starting to enjoy doing this. It gives me some time to research again and bring you guys some interesting news, or at least news we find interesting. So I hope you see you guys in the next one. See ya.